flushed. The reason why you take oxy powder at the same time is because you want to be able to flush that out of the system, because when the liver dumps all those toxic balls and rocks and all that toxic buildup that's been in there for years and years and years, you want to have something to flush it out of the intestines. Years ago, they used to always use colonics or enemas whenever they did liver cleansing or liver flushing. But now, since we developed proprietary process of using the oxy powder with the oxygen, it's an easier way to do that. And it's amazing, once your liver becomes clean, the kind of things that you will see with the increased energy. And not only that, but you're focusing on the main organ system in your body that has a direct influence with how your body deals with symptoms and prevents disease, which is the liver. Because every single thing that causes disease out there ultimately goes through your liver. Actually, your emotions have a lot to do with toxic liver as well. Anger, fear, depression, anxiety.
By the way, you were saying this 10 years ago. Now mainstream news and science is going, yeah, the gut does affect mood. And wow, because our guts are dead because of all the herbicides and don't have the right bacteria, we're not creating the right amounts of melatonin and all sorts of other things. I mean, it's really simple, and so much of autism is connected to it. And the power structure knows all this. It's why they went after Dr. Wakefield and others. And now it turns out that all his science was real and fact-based, and they've exonerated his partner. So they're really trying to cover all this up. It's just crazy. Do we know on average what a healthy gallbladder would have? Would it have any stones? Because the media tells us, or at least in the old days, you don't need a gallbladder. I mean, pure bull. Tell folks what the gallbladder does and how it connects to the liver and how it gets dumped out in the gut. Or the intestines?
Well, basically the gallbladder just stores bile from the liver to help break down your fats. But that's an interesting subject because people have problems with weight gain. All the weight gain is associated with fatty liver because the liver is what really breaks down the fats. And with the high carbohydrate diet that everybody's on, you know, the pastas, all the pasta, the bread, the sugar, the high fructose corn syrup, all of that stuff converts to high levels of glucose in the liver, and it clogs the liver up, and that causes obesity. When I wrote a book and started looking for the real cause of obesity and the real cause of weight gain, yes, iodine deficiency was one of those, but it really all starts in the liver because the liver can't break down the fats properly.
Well, that's what my dad always says, and he's a lot skinnier than I am, and he's trying to get me to lose weight a few years ago, is he said, listen, drinking toxifies your liver, it processes the fat, and then it just pushes it all through and makes you gain weight. That's why you don't want to drink, because it then fries your liver. And then it's true.
It is. When I was writing a book called The 10 Super Secrets to Weight Loss, liver cleansing was the #1 thing to do. And once people did usually about 3 liver cleanses, at first I used to think 1 liver cleanse was enough. And we've had probably hundreds of thousands of people that have gone through liver cleanses. And the reviews out there online, I mean, this is not something that I perfected it as far as making sure it's all done organically and changed it up a little bit. But even looking at the results of liver cleanses for every kind of illness dating back, the success rates are amazing. But again, you're addressing the root cause of the problem.
They don't want to do it. They want to treat the symptoms and keep you sick forever. We'll be back to talk about how you do the cleanse, how often you should do the cleanse versus maintenance.
We're on the mark.
So it's a totally unfair and unbalanced fight. And now the rebels are the freedom fighters, the Syrian National Army are being beaten every place around Syria. So we've got to change the battlefield situation, and just sending arms, very frankly, although they need them very badly, they need anti-tank and anti-air weapons, is not going to change the situation on the ground, and the massacre goes on.
ISIS, blatantly supported by John McCain and the Pentagon, and hesitantly supplied tanks rocket launchers, missile and anti-aircraft systems in accidental airdrops.
According to volunteer forces who are fighting the terrorists, American helicopters dropped boxes of weapons in Yatrib and Balad districts in the Salahuddin province. Now, the airdrop comes as the Iraqi army and volunteers are making significant gains against the terrorist group there. Now, back in October, the U.S. military admitted that a bundle of ammunition and weapons it had dropped over the Syrian border town of Kobani had ended up in the hands of ISIL members.
Now it has been confirmed that ISIS has stockpiled enough radioactive material to create weapons of mass destruction. In the ISIS magazine Dabiq, ISIS declared their intent to acquire a nuclear warhead from Pakistan with their billions of stolen funds gobbled up as they ransacked banks and took control of oil fields across Iraq and Syria. ISIS claims that all they have to do is call on their leaders in Pakistan to purchase a nuclear device through weapons dealers with links to corrupt officials in the region. India's defense minister, Rao Inderjit Singh, made the remark, with the rise of ISIS in West Asia, one is afraid to an extent that perhaps they might get access to a nuclear arsenal from states like Pakistan. Bloomberg quoted him as saying, ISIS admits that the scenario is a bit exaggerated, but then points out that a few thousand tons of ammonium nitrate explosive used in mining operations, or the weaponization of toxic chlorine as the gas bertholite, would be easy enough to make.
And it's designed to target mainly an American audience that is not geopolitically informed and doesn't know what's been happening for over 2.5 years in Syria, where NATO and the United States, that includes France, England, you name it, have injected over 100,000 foreign fighters from Saudi Arabia, from Qatar, from so many other countries that are al-Qaeda in over 60% of the cases. That's admitted. They are engaging in incredible atrocities across the nation. And 3 times in the last 2 years, they have been caught staging chemical attacks. They've been caught. Even mainstream news admits in the back of the paper, okay, they staged it. It's the type they used, they did it, to blame Assad and the Syrian military so they can take over.
There is a reason why President Obama
There's a reason the White House science czar wrote a book about brain damaging us with it.
Proliferation of these weapons.
Because you're a bunch of murderous, psychopathic bastards. And I'm so sick of watching you commit crime after crime and running al-Qaeda.
That this
John Kerry,
norm cannot be violated without consequences.
Liar.
And there is a reason why, no matter what you believe about Syria,
no matter what you believe,
all peoples and all nations who believe in the cause of our common humanity,
our humanity should support them injecting al-Qaeda rebels to try to overthrow the government and kill all the Christians.
ISIS is about 30,000 irregulars. They're not technically trained to fight. They have only the heavy equipment that they capture from us.
Australian Foreign Minister Julie Bishop says NATO is deeply concerned about radioactive materials ISIS has seized from research centers and hospitals that are exclusive to government stockpiles. ISIS has already been pushing its way into Saudi Arabia, Yemen, and other parts of the Middle East, becoming, as UK Home Secretary Theresa May declared, just months away from becoming the world's first truly terrorist state. ISIS has essentially reached this plateau of potential mass devastation in roughly 1 year. They will not rest until their perfect storm of globalized militant groups have unleashed its full scope of U.S.-backed intelligence and funding on the American public. Of course, whether they have weapons or not is beside the point. ISIS is already very successful at engaging the media in a giant psyop to terrorize the public and keep a firm grip on American freedoms as deemed necessary by the elite corporocratic succubus as they prepare the final phases of construction of the superstructure of a new world order. John Bound for Infowars.com.
Thought it was important to air that special report. When that report went up yesterday on Infowars.com, after it had been on the nightly news, I saw a minority of people in the comments going, which is it? Does ISIS exist or not exist? People build intellectual straw men, or they're not smart enough to understand what I'm saying. This is Al-Qaeda 2.0. The original Al-Qaeda was synthetic, led by Western intelligence, Saudi Arabia. That's come out. Now it's a larger proxy army to take over areas, but it's not fully controlled by the globalists. They're just turning it loose, like in Libya and other areas. When it gets out of control and attacks areas they don't want attacked, they then bomb it. They then use the threat in Africa to invade the whole country, or the whole continent. Boko Haram crisis, U.S. to fund Nigerian-led force to counter Boko Haram, BBC, the same group funded by the West. Now, let me tell you about the special we're running. This Liver Shield is the high-quality proprietary liver Trex developed by Dr. Group that we've private labeled through him, and it's extremely strong, extremely concentrated, extremely high-powered. You combine that with the Oxy Powder, oxygen-based intestinal cleanser, dietary supplement, clinically tested. We have them discounted at the lowest price you're going to find anywhere because Group puts out the Oxy Powder. He's the manufacturer of it. This is used in Hollywood for folks to lose dress sizes. High-level oxygen, that means it's a higher level at time releases in the intestines and is dramatic. You add this with a 6-day cleanse, with the apple cider vinegar, and with a bottle of this over 6 days mixed with water, and you drink 4 different glasses of that a day. Then on the 6th day, when you're going to bed, you drink 6-7 ounces of olive oil, organic, cold-pressed, first-press olive oil. You lay on your right side for an hour until you go to sleep reading a book. You wake up in the morning. Most people have dramatic results the next morning. I didn't. It took a couple days till I was going to see a movie at the Alamo Drafthouse and had to get up, and it was dramatic. And it was exactly what everybody said. It was exactly what you see online when you Google gallbladder stones. It's disgusting. And I've never talked about stuff like this on air. I didn't even believe it. I thought like kidney stones or something, you'd have a couple of them. It's disgusting. Dr. Grip, I'm going to give you the floor now. InfoWarsLife.com. It's dramatic. Obviously, folks should probably talk to their healthcare provider before they do this. But this is one of the single biggest results, if not the biggest, I've ever seen in my life, literally in a 6-day period. This is something anybody can do. Are there any downsides to it? If the gallbladder's ready to bust, could this trigger something? You know, let's talk about any downsides. Talk to your physician. InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. The bottle of Liver Shield is $29.95 and helps fund the operation. And then, of course, we have the Advanced Cleanse that goes with the Oxy Powder with a discount. So you get a discount on that, $76.90. And again, the profit we make from this helps fund this entire operation. So it's a 360 win, as I call it. InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. Folks, don't procrastinate. The mainline medical system is just going to tell you, oh, go on liver medication or get ready to have a liver transplant or whatever. Or just, I mean, it's crazy. I have a family member who has on a scale of, 1 to 40, it's some scale, medical scale, has like a 14 with liver stuff. And no one's telling him, hey, you can quit drinking, you can, your liver can grow back like a amphibian's tail or something, like a salamander's tail. No one's telling him any of this. They're just saying, we're getting you on a list for a transplant. We think within 5 to 10 years, you'll need a new liver. No discussion of liver health, no discussion of what different prescription drugs can do to your liver. Just get ready to have a new liver. And then that has all those complications and serious problems. So all we're saying is, obviously, you want to flush your liver out. Obviously, the literature is well known on what liver cleanses do. This is the best one out there from our research. InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. And I wasn't going to share my personal details. I was just going to talk about what other people had and talk about reviews and talk about what happened with the group and others. But I thought it was important enough for you and your family to be honest with you and to be literally transparent. So, Liver Shield with the Oxy Powder and with an organic form of apple cider vinegar. Tell us, Dr. Group, what the 3 things do together, how you do it again, what's happening in the liver. You've got the floor for the next 16 minutes till the transmission ends, Dr. Group.
Okay, well, I mean, the fact of the matter is, with the environment that we live in, everybody needs to be doing liver cleansing, and it's all about addressing the root cause of the problem. The medical profession is never going to tell you that your liver is congested and your liver is toxic and your liver is fatty and your liver is cirrhotic, which is just scar tissue built up in there, because there's over 900 prescription medications that injure the liver, and 80% of all cases of liver toxicity are actually caused by drug reactions, and there's children that have even died from taking in acetaminophen and everything else like that. Right now, they're not telling the general public how big of a problem liver damage actually is. There's children right now that have liver damage and fatty liver. There's an actual diagnosis called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is affecting